George Soros thinks Blackrock's China strategy is tragic. Billionaire philanthropist George Soros recently wrote an op ed in the Wall Street Journal and used this platform to bash the world's largest money manager for some of their foreign investments, and even went so far to call the strategy tragic. I'm your host, Big Smoke, and on this edition of FinFeed, is BlackRock making a tragic mistake by investing in China? Recent regulatory moves by the Chinese Communist Party have many investors wondering if long-term investment in China is a smart financial decision going forward. While this view is becoming more common on Wall Street, George Soros recently took it to another level by suggesting it threatened American national security. In the piece, Soros writes that pouring billions of dollars into China now is a tragic mistake. It is likely to lose money for BlackRock's clients and, more important, will damage the national security interests of the United States and other democracies. This opinion comes on the heels of several other recent statements by Soros concerning economic ties between the United States and China. Earlier this year, Soros suggested that BlackRock fundamentally misunderstands party leader Xi Jinping and his motivations. On the other hand, most major Wall Street firms are still choosing to pour money into Chinese companies, despite the Chinese Communist Party clamping down on the private sector in recent months. Speed feed. Bitcoin becomes the official currency of El Salvador. As many people who follow cryptocurrency already know, earlier this year El Salvador decided to become the first country on earth to make Bitcoin their official currency in an effort to fight off hyperinflation and stabilize internal affairs. The official day of adoption was on September 7th, 2021. Earlier in the day, the tiny Central American nation announced they would purchase 200 Bitcoin, a 100% increase of previous holdings, to mark the occasion. The world will be watching with bated breath for the next several years to see how well this new approach will work out. Toyota planning to spend $13.5 billion to develop EV battery. Japanese automaker Toyota plans to spend a massive sum to produce its very own in-house electric vehicle battery. The world's largest automaker recently said it plans to spend a sum of $13.5 billion to design and manufacture its own electric battery by the year 2030. The company, which paved the way for hybrid vehicles, seeks to lower the cost of EV batteries by 30%. It plans to achieve these lofty cost-cutting goals by improving the underlying materials used in battery production. White House goes after meatpacking industry, says they are engaging in profiteering. Joe Biden's White House is showing the voters that is concerned over inflation issues. On Wednesday, September 8th, 2021, White House National Economic Council Director Brian Deese, speaking to the press and quoted by Yahoo Finance, said that meat prices are responsible for over 50% of the increase in the price of food since Q4 of 2020. He went on to blast the large domestic meat producers like Tyson by saying, "It raises concerns about pandemic profiteering, about companies that are driving price increases in a way that hurts consumers who are going to the grocery store." He also took aim at the meatpacking industry's treatment of farmers during the pandemic. What's happening isn't benefiting the actual producers, the farmers, the ranchers that are growing the product. For their part, a spokesperson from Tyson called the comments from the White House inflammatory. Is BlackRock making a tragic mistake by investing in China? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. That's it for this edition of FinFeed. I'm your host, Big Smoke, signing off.